It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. It's donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. There's a lot going on. I'm not complaining. I'm glad this time of year there's actually kind of a lot of juicy stuff to talk about here. I'm going to tell you this. This USC is gaslighting America in a way only LA and Hollywood could get away with. That's what I've decided. They're gaslighting everyone in the country. And it's not normal, but they think it is because of LA and the culture and everything. They're really, really pushing it with some of these narratives and the angling they're trying to position this Notre Dame USC not playing anymore thing. And I'm not here for it. So we're going to go over in detail exactly why we ended up in the position we're in right now. But I got no time or patience for this USC thing. It's unbelievable. The framing of all this, despite the fact patterns. And I ain't here to allow it on a Friday morning. Also, you got Jurassic Park loose at the combine. We got Jurassic Park. I got to go over the Jurassic Park thing. I got serious questions about this. And I got to get with Goolsby. On Monday Night Raw, I got to ask Goolsby the difference between how much these NFL teams value what they're seeing on film in the games. And then if it doesn't all measure out, ideally exactly what they want at the combine, how do you weigh those two things? And that is right up Goolsby's alley. I can't wait to break it down with him. It's like you see the guy dominating the competition week to week. Go Canes, I'm talking about your guy. Welcome, everybody. I want to know how you are supposed to navigate if you're one of these NFL teams. A bunch of film that says this guy dominates every single week, jumps off the page as a flash difference-making player. Then he gets to the combine and the measurables are not exactly what is ideal, or in this case, they're a lot not ideal. How do you measure those? How much do you drop a guy you loved on your draft board because those measurables aren't exactly what the prototype, like 10 out of 10 A+ thing would be? How do you balance that? And then I want to go over the two positions I'm most excited to see in Notre Dame spring football. And there's some interesting differences and nuances there. Okay. So this will be fun. I want to put in the chat link here. Anybody that wants to join, feel free. Feel free to join us. Some really interesting comments. But we're going to hit this USC thing, and I'm going to tell you where I'm at on it, and I got it. Notre Dame people are probably not going to like this. And I don't like it either. There was a mistake made here by Notre Dame. Which makes what should have been a slam dunk argument in Notre Dame's favor not. And I'm very, very frustrated by it. But Notre Dame There was a misstep here that doesn't make this argument against USC the slam dunk I need it to be, and I'm struggling with that. Hey, John, is Goolsby's buddy Jared Clark and help ND get that quarterback? I'm telling you, multiple years off camera, Jared's been telling me and Mike, this quarterback, it's unbelievable. And like, the talent Jared is getting to come through Cardinal Mooney down there in Florida is amazing. He is literally rising right to the top of the super competitive ranks of high school football coaching in the state of Florida, where there's nothing but talent as far as the eye can see. Sign says you're cherry picking. Are you talking about me or something in the comments or what? I haven't even started yelling yet. How do you know if it's about me? Let me start yelling first. I don't know who it's directed to. Maybe it's at the chat. So welcome in, everybody. I sincerely appreciate you choosing to start your early weekend here with me. That means the world to me. You can do anything with your time. Thanks for being here. I'm never going to take that for granted, especially in the off season. You guys keep me going. In this season, there's a lot of action and a lot of juice. You guys are the ones that keep me going in the off season. I sincerely appreciate it. Oh, you're talking about Commander. I never know. I got a bad attention span. I'm trying to do 4 things at once. I'm trying to do everything at once. Okay, thanks for being here. See a lot of the regulars, as always. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet. If you like it, you don't have to do it now. Do it after you like it. How's your health, Johnny? Mental or physical? Couple more hours on Twitter debating USC people. I don't know. John's channel trying to sell me a wood mattress frame. Hey, it's either that or Rougiette ready. So you can pick. And if you're creative, you can combine the two. Get yourself some Rougiette ready and the new bed frame if you're connecting the dots, my boy. Thanks for being here. Hit subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search by Jake. I'm going to tell you one thing right now, damn it. The maturity level of this channel can never be questioned. Twitter. Search bar always Irish or at always Irish Jake. Emails always irishnD@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. If you don't want to see my dummy face, nobody blames you. Go to audio only. You'll be fine. Okay. Notre Dame on SI. Read all about it. You know, better than Johnny trying to sell us a coffin. When I was getting out of that business, when I was getting out of the funeral business, one of the big issues was there's like a 300 to 500% markups on coffins when you buy it through the funeral home, right? You have that little room where they walk you in there and you look at all the different coffins and then they build a package with that. 300 to 500% markup on coffins. Costco started selling coffins for like $200. People were passing away and they would just order the coffin on Costco, a bunch of paper towels, and then send the coffin to the funeral home to put mom in. And the funeral homes were losing all that 300 to 500% markup they were getting on the coffins. They were so mad. Costco had discount coffins, baby. Okay. I want an always Irish coffin. I like that. How do you think I'm going to go? So, anyways, I got an article I wrote this morning. And you got, I've seen those ads buying a used coffin. I saw some Facebook ads. And they were like, we decided to dig Grandpa up and cremate him and do something different. So we have a gently used coffin you can buy if you want. I got news for you guys. We'll just say this right now. The number one question I got is, what happens when a coffin goes in the ground? Whatever. Water always wins. Nature always wins. That's what I'm going to tell you. That was my answer for 12 years. Number one thing people were worried about. What's going to happen? What happens when that's down there in the ground, 6 to 8 feet? All this. Nature always wins. Water always wins. It's just a matter of how long it takes. That's my answer. The better the protective vault is, the casket goes in, the more preserved everything in it's going to be. However, nature always wins, water always wins. Okay? That's the bottom line. If that freaks you out, you need to get a grave on a high point. When you go pick out your spot, pick one on a high point above the water line. If it's at or below the water line, water wins, nature wins. If that concept bothers you, you got to pick a high spot. You got to pick a high spot. And guess what? In Illinois, we don't have any high spots. There ain't no hills. Everything's flat. Caden, God bless you, man. I'm mean to you all the time. You keep donating money. $5 howler. Good morning, Irish fans. Hope everybody's doing well. The weekend goes for you. Sly, don't put this on. Don't do that, Sly. You know what you're doing. You're just trying to cause me problems. The penthouse is in the mausoleum. You're absolutely right. You're talking about 5 or 6 times the cost to go in one of those walls in the mausoleum. By the way, those have their own problems. Every once in a while, I'd walk in one of my mausoleums, smell, and immediately call the hazmat team because somebody had an issue and the gases and everything in your body are no longer contained, and you got to call the hazmat team to come clean it up. So going in that wall is no guarantee you're going to be good forever either. You want to talk about gel, Sly? That's me pulling a guy who bursted out of the mausoleum. Anyways, anybody wondering why I'm not in that business anymore? You're getting some inside scoop here. There's a lot of wild things that happen in that business, let me tell you. So here's where I want to start. USC is gaslighting America. And I ain't here for it. Okay? So USC announces they found their replacement of Notre Dame on their schedule, and it's San Jose State. Now, you will remember, Notre Dame moved pretty quickly to get a series done with BYU and get it on the books. As soon as we knew that it wasn't going to be a thing, Notre Dame and USC every year again, Notre Dame quickly moved and got BYU. USC took a couple months to fill that schedule slot, and nobody knew who it was going to be. So they announced San Jose State, and then inexplicably, they all go on social media and start dunking on Notre Dame and acting like they won the argument. It's ultimate LA, California, Hollywood gaslighting, where nothing is real. Everything is a mirage. There's no substance to anything. It's all surface level manipulation. That's how I view Hollywood and LA. A fake city, man, where everything is a facade and nothing is real. That's how I view that whole LA Hollywood lifestyle vibe, way of life, that old thing. Everybody's faking to be something they wish they could be in that city. That's what the city is about. And I do not respect it. Okay? So let's take stock of this, really. What has happened? Notre Dame loses USC. They immediately turn around and schedule a program in BYU that in recent vintage has been much more nationally relevant and competitive than USC has in recent years. I am not saying BYU has the better overall history and profile than USC. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in the modern age of college football, there is no doubt BYU has been a more competitive program nationally than USC. So Notre Dame goes out and schedules BYU as soon as you can. USC loses Notre Dame and they schedule San Jose State. These are not the same. What those two contracts indicate are two different things. One school tried to replace a really tough opponent with another one. And the other school tried to replace a tough opponent with the easiest guaranteed win they could get. That right there tells you where the mindset is at both of these institutions regarding scheduling. So USC opens the year with San Jose State, Fresno State, and Louisiana. Wow. Wow. And I know people are going to be like, oh, John, Notre Dame's opening slate isn't that tough either. At least Wisconsin is a Big Ten program that has like some relevance of being like some sort of big program. At some San Jose State, Fresno State, Louisiana really, really tested yourself. And then you get into the big bad Big Ten and you get Rutgers. So that's their first 4 games, their first month. Okay. But somehow, USC people are all over social media dunking on Notre Dame. You scheduled weaker to replace us on purpose. We tried to schedule a relatively tough team to replace you. What does that indicate? What does that indicate? So, I don't understand why they're acting like they won the argument. Why are USC people on social media being like, oh, yeah, we got you on this one. You guys are cowards. When we replace you with a better program, you replaced us with the weaker program. This is the truth of the matter. This is the truth of the matter. None of this Notre Dame USC rivalry going away discussion ever existed until there were talks of USC joining the Big Ten. When you're trying to figure this out and assign blame and all this stuff, you got to go all the way back to the genesis of this. You got to go all the way back to where this started and where it came from. I never heard a single whisper about Notre Dame USC going away until the moment they decided they were going to the Big Ten. That's how this all started. Okay? They knew they were going in the Big Ten. Their schedules in the Big Ten were going to be tougher year to year than anything the Pac-12 could present or whatever. And the last thing they wanted to do is have that tough Big Ten schedule and in non-conference have tough Notre Dame there every single year. Who, by the way, has owned the rivalry in the last, 10, 12 years? No, it's just a fact. Okay? That's where this all started from. So anybody trying to figure out who's to blame and how do we look at this or whatever, ask yourself, how did this whole Notre Dame not playing USC thing start? Didn't start from the Notre Dame administration. It started from Lincoln Riley being soft and USC soft leadership getting in a room and saying, we got to panic and make the playoff. We don't want to be playing tough Notre Dame in non-conference every year and the Big Ten. And God forbid have to travel to do it. That's the other thing that astounds me. I saw all season articles and stuff written about how tough the travel is for USC and the Big Ten or whatever, as if no one thought of that when they made this move to chase money and TV money. Nobody realized that till it started happening, that if you have to travel from LA to Rutgers, it's far. So that's where you got to go. You don't get distracted in the weeds of the debate lately. The only reason this ever became a thing was because they were joining the Big Ten. That's what caused all of this. The very first time I heard about it was when they said they were going to the Big Ten. Then these articles come out. USC's leadership's really talking about maybe we can't play Notre Dame to make this more feasible. That's where it all started. Okay? Lincoln Riley's behind some of this. He's a coward. That guy has not done enough and succeeded enough to be able to make a decision that eliminates one of the best rivalries in all of sports, not just college football. Lincoln Riley should not even have a seat at that table to decide and debate these things. He has not earned that right to ruin this rivalry. Yet, here we are. So that's just a fact. That's the only reason any of this ever came up to begin with, is because they were scared about this Big Ten. And then that's the rumbling debate. We might not be able to play Notre Dame all the time, right? But they're still on the schedule when they join the Big Ten the first few years. And what have you learned? It's been a struggle for USC. 4 years, Lincoln Riley, no playoffs. It's been a struggle. And them seeing that struggle furthered this, I don't know if we should play Notre Dame thing, because they got in that Big Ten and realized it is harder than what they thought it was going to be. Haven't even sniffed the playoff, and you're entering year 5 of Lincoln Riley. You're entering year 5 of Lincoln Riley. You ain't even sniffed the playoff. So that's where this all comes from. That's where this all comes from. And this gaslighting that they won the argument somehow when you scheduled a weaker opponent to replace us and we scheduled a tougher one. It's all facades. It's fake fronting. And I hope it doesn't pay off for them. And I hope they don't make the playoff anyways. It's no one wins in this, man. I don't even care if one team or both makes the playoff because they don't beat each other. I don't think anybody wins in this. And when you have all these large-scale, huge changes going on in college football, a lot of them that we like, quite frankly, more playoff games people find entertaining or whatever, different conference schedules now, like whatever. There's a downside. When you make these big changes, there's always some downstream negative effects. Losing some rivalry games is going to be one of them. People are scheduling for playoff position not to have the most competitive schedule anymore. That's a tough reality we all have to accept. BYU is tough to whose standards? Kent, who is a tougher program to beat, San Jose State or BYU? That's all I'm talking about. Replacing the game you lost. You going to try and sell me San Jose State is at BYU's level? You're not going to do that, Kent. You're too smart for that. So that's where this all started from. USC and the Big Ten. Okay? So that's the genesis. Now, here's what I'm going to say, though. There is one beef I have with Notre Dame on this. This argument should be a slam dunk in Notre Dame's favor based off the evidence I provided about the timing of all this and the actions of who ended up getting scheduled instead of USC and Notre Dame. That is the evidence in Notre Dame's favor here. The timing and the result. Here's the problem, though. Should be a slam dunk argument in Notre Dame's favor, but Freeman's on the record saying anytime, anywhere. And anytime I bring up the argument on social media, that gets thrown in my face. Notre Dame did say any place, anytime, anywhere. And then they said, we're not really loving week 0, though. That's tough. I'm fair. I am fair. I went at USC for the parts of this that I think are their fault. And Freeman didn't mean it. It was more of like, the overall competitive thing you say, we'll play anybody anywhere. Like, it wasn't that thought out or strategic, but that one sentence ended up burning us in the debate. Because whenever I bring it up, that's what I get thrown at me. That's just coach speak. I get it. But he did say it. And whenever I argue it on Twitter about this, that's what gets thrown in my face. It was just coach speak, but it is on the record he said it. Then Notre Dame saying we're not loving week 0. That's tough. And I understand Notre Dame's scheduling philosophy. This has been talked about a lot. You have Freeman's had some tough week one, some tough starts to years. And I know Notre Dame is looking at ways to have a good schedule, but not make it a barn burner week one every single year. Notre Dame wants to get away from that a little bit. And I kind of understand it, quite frankly, because Freeman's September record is not that good. Right? Like Freeman's September record's not that good. For all the good things he's done, hey, Dad, what's going on in Florida? For all the good things Freeman's done, September's not been kind to Marcus Freeman. So Notre Dame was looking at a way to be able to adjust and get away from all the heavy games early, but it's just tough. And yes, Slip, USC knew Notre Dame won the week 0 thing wasn't going to work out for us, so they could lean on that and then say Notre Dame cowered it out. You can't get in the weeds of all the stuff now. You got to ask what started the problem. Them joining the Big Ten. And why should Notre Dame have to acquiesce to every single request USC has just because USC wanted to make more money in the Big Ten? That's my question. Why does Notre Dame have to bear all of the downside and the burden of doing things we're not up for, aren't convenient for us, because USC decided they wanted a better schedule and more TV money? So our rival decides they want to make a change and then we have to bend over and adjust to everything they want? This is just a mess. It's just a mess. And it's just sad. Everybody loses, man. Everyone loses in this dynamic. So, but I am done listening to them gaslight. And then the BYU people too. Notre Dame did not play the Pop-Tarts Bowl because they were shivering in their boots about BYU. It was the overall whole thing. That it was like not about BYU specifically. It was about what the dynamic was overall. So I can't wait to get out to Provo and be able to shut these people up. So I don't know, man. I'm so frustrated by it all. It's so annoying. You got to ask yourself where it all started from. And it all started from them joining the Big Ten. So let's get into a couple chats, see what you guys think. I don't know. Let's do a couple chats. I see you guys want to join. We'll get you going here. We'll get you going. $10 holler, my main man. Not in Utah. We got hills, mountains, canyons, you name it. I know. I see it on your backdrop, man. I'm jealous. Your sight lines are beautiful. $5 holler, Caden. John's perturbed of why I'm being so nice to him. Well, I'm not just wanting to argue with him. I don't know. The farm life's better than the Hollywood life. I like the peaceful farm life does have its appeal. $2 holler, USC's full of cowards. Well, on that, we can agree. On that, we can agree. Couple chats here. Let's see. Commander, don't sleep on Wisconsin just because they lost a bunch of games last season. Badgers played a lot of good teams. Notre Dame would have lost 3 of the 4 games if they had to play the Big Ten schedule Wisconsin. Yeah, there is. I'm going to do a video about that soon of where, if Notre Dame was in the Big Ten, where they would be slotted in the hierarchy of the Big Ten. That's an interesting offseason debate. Really is. Tex ND. And the thing with Wisconsin is, I am not suggesting you just roll the football out there and beat Wisconsin by 40 by the magic of your gold helmet. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Wisconsin is not Miami or A&M to start, and that gives Notre Dame a little more leeway to not be perfect and start out the season with a win. Is anybody going to disagree with that? I am not trying to disrespect Wisconsin, say roll the football out there, you win by 40. I'm not saying that. But they are not what playing A&M or Miami away is to start the year. It ain't that. That's my only point. Notre Dame should have more margin to play with be able to get off to a 1-0 start. That's my only point. Okay. Tom, Chicago's very own. USC replaced ND for San Jose State. Lincoln Riley is a pimp and a gutless wonder. There you go. Oh, man. I love you guys. I really do. Okay. Here's the next thing. Let me get into this real quick. I got to get into this. This Ruben Bain thing with the T-Rex arms. He's got this, I see it on Twitter. He's got the shortest arm measurements of all time for any draft-eligible guy that doesn't have a documented genetic disorder. How far will he fall? All I know is this guy is one of the best players in college football by far. Every week you saw that guy flash. He beat Notre Dame's ass. In every game I watched, that is one guy that jumped off the TV screen as a dominant player. Are people really not going to draft him because his arms aren't as long as you want? It's like if I'm an NFL scout or GM, you're like, okay, I don't like the measurables, right? I don't like the measurables. And then you're sitting there as a scout or a GM of an NFL team and you're like, well, if only there was another way to try and figure out how good a guy is if I don't like his measurables. I'm uncertain about this. Is there any other way I could possibly ascertain how good this guy is? Oh, I don't know. You can look at all the game film. He jumps off the page as one of the most dominant players in the sport all last year, including dominating us week 1 in an embarrassing fashion, quite frankly, in my opinion. So I just want to know, how do these guys weigh dominance on all the film and the measurables I don't love? Where do things end up in the wash? And you're going to find out in the draft. But it's just like, man, it's just, the guy can't help. He has short arms, but he's making it work for him. But the life that story took online was hilarious. Jurassic Park at the draft. $5 holler. You can't spell suck without USC. You're darn tootin'. You darn right. You darn right. Oh, man. Tex ND. Lots of love and lots of Jeremiah love and admiration. I like that. See what I did there? Hoping he does well. I'm telling you, the guy was the darling of this combine. He was talked about all coming into this as like some people's number 1 overall prospect, all this stuff. I hope he does well and balls out, shows out. So, and good luck to all of our guys. And I like seeing all these guys lift. They're doing combine stuff. Brew-Woo's lifting 900 pounds of weights like Johnny at Planet Fitness with the retired people. He's pumping that iron, baby. Pumping that iron. Oh, man. Love is also so well-spoken with the media training. He's come a long way in that regard. He has truly come a long way in that regard. Let's get some of you guys. Liam, what's going on?
Johnny, how are you?
I'm good, but I'm wondering, where is my backdrop and why do we look so weird? What is happening?
Me?
Me.
Oh, I don't know about your backdrop.
Yeah, no, you look fine. There's something going on with my background. Yeah, you look fine. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. A little bit of USC news, huh? Big addition to their schedule, huh?
Man, it's like I just can't figure out how they think they win the argument when they replaced us with a lesser team. Doesn't that prove the point of what they were trying to accomplish?
John, when I saw them bragging about it on Twitter, it reminded me of Dumb and Dumber when they traded in the dog van for the scooter and thought that it was an upgrade, right? And totally yourself.
It's just, I don't get, I know I look fine, you guys. I'm saying I'm not the only one that doesn't see. Do you see the gold background on my screen? It's all black to me. So I don't know what's going on.
Looks good from my angle, Johnny.
Wait, what do you see my gold backdrop, my normal gold backdrop?
No, I see like all your Always Irish paraphernalia in the background.
What? I don't see any of it. It's just a black screen on my end.
No, it's good. We're good. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what's going on then. Whatever. Maybe I'm seeing things. But yeah. Liam, it proves the point that you scheduled a weaker team. That totally proves the point that the goal of this was to not have another tough team out of conference. That proves it. There's no discussion. That proves what they were doing.
John, I know that 8-4 is a typical, or for some programs considered to be a good year. But if you can reflect back, the 2005, the Bush push year, they're on their way to their third straight appearance in a national championship. Obviously, they go on to lose it against Vince Young. But in the weeks leading up to the national championship, ESPN College Game Day, they would have a half-hour program every day comparing USC to past champions of the past and estimating if they would win. And this whole scheduling ordeal just reminds me how far this program has fallen in 20 or 25 years.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, as you said, you're avoiding Notre Dame to add Division II level football teams onto your program just so you can soften it up because you're afraid of jet lag that you get when you travel to New Jersey.
It's very apparent they are scheduling to make a playoff schedule. Like why can't you just, they refuse to accept it. And my ultimate proof is why this became a thing to begin with. And it never came from the Notre Dame side. It was only when them to the Big Ten became a thing did this even become a thing. That tells me everything I need to know. They should just shut up and play their schedule, try and make the playoff. But trying to retroactively prove this point that there's no evidence for is driving me crazy.
I think one thing that maybe Notre Dame may have been caught off guard with is the fact that USC would be more loyal to the conference that they join than they were to a 95-year-old traditional rivalry. I think that Notre Dame maybe ignorantly thought that USC would be able to maintain this regardless of what conference USC had joined. And I think that kind of caught off guard a little bit.
Yeah, and I wrote about this morning. This was all in my mind. And I just wrote about, in this modern age, this sport that was based on tradition and heritage and all this stuff and nostalgia, man, how quickly that goes out the window for the shiny new dollar. And it's the way of the world, and I understand it, but is nothing sacred to where it's like, we're just so quick to throw away like 100 years of tradition for maybe making an easier playoff run in the modern era. It rubs me the wrong way, but money's money, and I get it. And it just leaves you feeling kind of empty.
Yeah, in many ways, it might be a microcosm of life, right? Don't put in the hard work. Ignore the 100 years of history, tradition, all the national championships, all the Heisman Trophy winners, all those excellent teams, all those tremendous games, many of which in the 70s, I think 60s and 70s would determine who would play for a national championship between Notre Dame and USC. Yeah. And it's such a quick, cheap fix. But I suppose that might fall in line with the state of California. I think maybe it's the California rubbing off on the rest of them too.
Yeah, it's and that's a part of it, man. So I'm really frustrated. And at the end of it, Liam, I'm just sad. Like, I was doing a breakdown of the schedule a couple weeks ago, and I kept going through game by game by game. And I'm just so used to always having that rock of USC there as a big talking point of what it's going to be. And I got on the road at Syracuse instead. And it just hurts, man. No matter what other good teams Notre Dame schedules in a year or whatever, there's an empty hole without USC there. And it's just kind of depressing.
I was complaining to Renee on the phone about it sometime during this past week, and my daughter was eavesdropping, and she said, "Dad, who's SC?" she's like, oh, Notre Dame's not playing South Carolina anymore. And then I thought, like, oh, wait, they probably do have a better chance of playing South Carolina than they do USC in the future. I mean, obviously that's hyperbole, right? But
Yeah.
there's validity in that too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and now here's one thing you could get, Liam. The one thing you could get is sometime Notre Dame and USC in the playoff. And if you're going to lose this rivalry year to year, imagine the buildup with all the hostilities and the allegations of who punked out on who. If you could end up in a situation where you get Notre Dame and USC in a playoff, it would be kind of like what we were always had in the back of our minds. What if you got a Notre Dame Brian Kelly LSU matchup, right? Like that was the playoff game a lot of people wanted. Freeman, Notre Dame, Kelly, LSU. You never got that one, but maybe you'll get it there. But man, this is frustrating.
I think what is interesting about the entire situation is it seems like the direction of USC, even though it's a 110 or 115-year-old program, has been totally kind of ransacked and dictated by a guy who's only been there for 4.5 years. Yep. And frankly, he doesn't have the most success for a 5-year window. So to your point, I don't think it's going to be Lincoln Riley that takes them deep into the college football playoff. And if you can just reflect on your life or reflect on Marcus Freeman's message, since when does the easy way out ever get you what you want in life?
Yeah. Yep. That part of it bothers me too, because I know Lincoln Riley was involved in some of these discussions with USC leadership, and I do not believe he has done enough to earn the right to have a say, to even be at a table that could alter all of this history. If you're Nick Saban at Alabama or whatever, and then I think you have a little more credibility to make some bigger picture decisions because of what you've accomplished. I don't think Lincoln Riley has earned that. And then his input has helped eliminate one of the best rivalries in sports. I hate it.
And I mean, didn't they take who did they take from Notre Dame last year? Our one of our heads of recruiting, right?
Chad. Ooh.
Yeah. Wouldn't you think Chad would want to maintain that rivalry, or he just all of a sudden new job, new agenda? That's surprising too.
Yeah, is it? There are some people who were suspicious of Chad for a while. And whatever, man, he's got a big fancy place in LA now. He could go surf in the off season. So I don't know, man. It's in BYU's not USC, but at least it's an interesting game. Jeez.
I mean, you can make the argument now with Miami, with BYU, with SMU. Even though SMU wasn't in it last year, BYU was, I think, just barely on the outs looking in. You're scheduling teams that are at least in the top 20, top 15 that are threatening to make a run consistently.
Yeah.
And I know that I might be disappointed with some of the ACC scheduling, but that is what it is. Until we get out of that, that's not going to fix itself, I don't think.
Yeah. And then Liam, any thoughts on the combine and the Notre Dame, like Love and all the hype he's getting, or the T-Rex arms, anything with the combine stand out to you?
Yeah, the T-Rex arms to me is interesting because the T-Rex arms didn't look that sharp when he was blown by our guys. He looked like Armstrong, right? Yeah. I was watching him play and I was like, is that in normal time or did someone play that twice? Because our guys were standing still and he's motoring past. I think too many times, and we have people in this in our group as well. Sometimes I'm one of those people. We get too obsessed with statistics and analytics instead of the eye test. I think that and feelings and the ebb and flow of the game. I don't think that you can argue about Bain's production as a player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, if you need reinforcement to figure out how good he is, just watch his game film.
Yeah. That's where I'm at too. It's like sometimes I feel as though these GMs and scouts, they act like the only data they have is from the combine, And not all of the body of work of what a guy did on the field that you could just see what he did against the competition. It's like, if only there was another way other than these measurables to judge how good a guy is. I just can't figure it out. The guy was one of the more dominant players in the whole sport all year, and he's going to be good and whatever. I'm surprised this got as much run as it did. Maybe it's just that it's funny, and you could do an AI T-Rex on that guy's body, and it's funny. I don't know.
I think, didn't Kyle Hamilton run a 4.6 at the combine, and people were gawking about that, oh man, his game speed isn't that good. And it's like, look what he's turned out to be. He's amazing. And people thought he was amazing going in, but I guess that was just one glitch on the radar. You wonder if it's strategy by GMs to try and make him drop to them, right?
Yeah.
That could be
it. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's, and the other thing people are bringing up against Notre Dame, Liam, is how quickly the BYU deal was done. And I don't fully understand that argument. Like it's like, oh, that proves Notre Dame was ready to run. Well, because they knew USC was looking to drop them. So you got to start planning. If that happens, where can you go? What do you mean? Like, Notre Dame you knew this was coming, so you had to have some discussions to figure out what you could do when it actually happened. I don't understand that argument against Notre Dame. It's not like USC did the dropping Notre Dame thing out of nowhere. Notre Dame had a long time to be able to think about it. So I don't know, man.
I think I have 3 points on that. The first is, didn't we owe them a game in the first place anyway?
Yes.
Second, didn't we have to scramble and find coverage for when Miami dropped out of us and we ended up playing Army at Yankee Stadium? Was that right?
I think
so. And why does it matter if we're more prepared than they are?
Yeah.
All right, why would you be surprised that Notre Dame is prepared for every situation and USC is scrambling and playing SUNY Delhi because they're not prepared for Notre Dame actually to say, no, we're not going to play you only on your terms.
Yeah, and the other thing I don't like is I don't like the thought that, well, if Notre Dame likes this rivalry so much, they must do everything USC wants that makes it easier for them and bow down completely to accommodate. We didn't change. You changed. Why does all of that obligation come on us when you changed? We are the only constant in this situation. You change conferences and it changed your whole thing. That doesn't mean we got to bend over and do everything you want to help you more.
I don't understand that point at all, John, right? Notre Dame is supposed to totally submit to the need. All right, USC wants to play us in 2030 in Mars with rollerblades on. Okay, fine, we'll do it just to maintain the rivalry. That doesn't make any sense. That's not how things work in real business life, and that's not how compromises are attained, I don't think.
Yeah, it's, man, the whole thing just makes me sad more than anything else. I just hate losing this game, hate losing the rivalry. And whatever. And you know what's sad about it too is, Liam, as time goes on, people will move on. And I just don't like that. I'm still not going to like it, but after a few years, people are going to get used to this game not being played. Man, that's just sad to me. Think of our grandfathers and stuff rolling over in that used casket we were talking about a half hour ago. Like, I can't imagine what our grandparents' generation that are all dead are thinking in their graves about this game not being played.
Yeah.
If my grandpa wasn't already in the ground, this would do it.
Yeah, I think about our schedule, and I really miss at least the years that we were growing up. You'd face you could pencil in like Michigan and Michigan State almost back to back every year with maybe Purdue sandwiched in between them. You see maybe either like the 6th game or the 11th game, right? Pretty late in the season. Stanford, a competent Stanford team late in the season, and you really do miss those games, even if some of them weren't considered to be rivalry games. Those were that was classic good teams to face week after week. And I think this just highlights USC's cowardice, though, right? You've got a storied tradition. You've got, I don't know, still 9 or 10 Heisman Trophy winners, X amount of national championships, and you won't come to the table because you're afraid of having a hard schedule.
Yeah, it's just SPF. I ask again, why does Notre Dame have to do whatever USC wants that is most convenient for them?
They don't.
Why SPF? You got to tell me why it is that we didn't change at all. They change, and then we're expected to bow down and do whatever they want to make it easier for them. Why? I have a problem that we are the one consistent. They change, and then the burden becomes on us to bow down and give them everything they want. That rubs me the wrong way. You changed. So maybe there's some more inconvenience you have to deal with because you chose to change your whole setup, not us.
John, you can also make the argument that coming out of a situation where you were kept out of the college football playoff because of the perceived weakness of schedule, you dropped an 8-4 team, which beating Pitt didn't move the needle for us last year. So you dropped an 8-4 team and added a 10 or 11 win team. This should be perceived as an upgrade. I'll be unfortunate because we lost a rival.
Yeah. And you know what? I hope this will be year 5 of Lincoln Riley. I hope they miss the playoff again. And then you do the whole gaslighting thing. It's turning into the Kelly thing at LSU. Maybe next year. Maybe it's turning into one of those. Maybe next year. Next year's going to be the breakthrough. Next year's going to be the playoff breakthrough. I just hope it never comes. And they run this thing out with 3 losses every year or whatever. So that's where I'm at. I'm totally frustrated with the whole debate and argument. I'm sad. I'm hurt. I don't like this at all. Liam, anything else, my friend? How are you guys doing in New York? Are you melting out yet or what? What's the deal?
I think we're finally about to get a few 50-degree days, so that's going to help us. But we had, back-to-back storms, back-to-back-to-back storms, I think 2 or 3 weeks in. So that was pretty difficult. But I'm looking forward to the blue and gold game. What are we down to? What's the countdown?
It's under 60 days, I think, right? For sure, late April. So it'll be here before you know it. We'll hope for some good weather, but we're going to have fun no matter what.
I'm going to shave my beard the night before and show up and see if anyone recognizes me. Just like
no one's going to know who you are. Who's that random guy over there with a pale chin from getting no sun under that thing? Oh,
thanks, Johnny.
Hey, have a good weekend, Liam. You take care, buddy. Have a good one. Thanks for joining. Oh, man, you guys are funny. Renee, what's going on? Good morning, bro.
Hey, John, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Sorry, brother, I can't get on camera because I got to move a few blocks around by hand. But, hey, bro, how about that dude, huh? He makes some good points, huh? Douglas, he makes some really good points.
Hey, you're a little muffled. Is there any? I can hear you. You're a little less clear.
Give me 1 second, and I'll hurry up and get that. I think I separated enough. So I apologize, John.
That's okay.
I know we're kind of short on time. Hey, as far as can you hear me now? You can hear me now,
there
right?
There you go. Way better. Thank you.
As far as like the rivalry, I didn't take too much. Like, I didn't get as sad as some of you guys did. Initially, until I was talking to Kevin and Liam, and they made good points, man. I'm like, damn, you're right. You got 20 some national titles, over 20 Heismans, dozens and dozens of Hall of Famers in the NFL, hundreds of All-Americans, hundreds of professionals, and just yeah, man, Liam made the great points. And like, man, it wasn't until I was talking to those two guys that I realized, because I got excited, like, hey, dude, they're coming to Provo. And like I said, for us out here, West Coast, Midwest, or Mountain West, excuse me, to hop, skip, and away, jump across the country to get there. But you touched on all the points, man. It's like what I've been saying. The jet lag thing is getting to them now, and it's like, oh, there's a tougher schedule, and everybody's complaining across the board. And I talked, like I said, talked to Kevin, and I'm a never conferencer as well. But I think the way that these guys are shifting the landscape, and they're all complaining about playing tough out of conference games. I hope I don't ever see a day where Notre Dame joins the conference. But the fact that they're pulling these moves like this doesn't look good. But at the end of the day, we're still Notre Dame, right? That's why Caleb Williams won the Heisman. It wasn't because what he did, because he lost the bowl game. He lost that bowl game, and he won the Heisman because of what he did against Notre Dame that year. That's why he won it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's yeah, and the other thing you got to monitor when you're looking at these schedules the way you're talking about,
Yeah,
some of these SEC teams are talking more about backing out of some of their games that they've already kind of signed up for
yeah.
to try and make the schedule a little easier. Texas is mad they took that loss to Ohio State and it cost them the playoff. What does Notre Dame do then if more of those teams back out of those games? Does that put Notre Dame in a tough scheduling place? I don't know. So you're going to have to wait and see if these teams. And then I think some of that has to do with if they expand the playoff and you have a wider margin of error to be able to make it. We got to see.
Yeah, because if that happens, then we're what? Then we're stuck, doing what USC just did, right? Playing lower level, group of five teams and and that's not exactly what Notre Dame is. But then again, this has happened to us before, right? 100 years ago, and so let's hope it doesn't get to that. But sorry, you just kind of throw me off. But here's the thing about about the scheduling. Kent made a point the other day, and he says, "Renee, why are you overlooking Wisconsin?" And I never said I was overlooking Wisconsin. I remember the last time Wisconsin came to Provo, and this dude was a Wisconsin fan, and I'm working at the bar. I'm working security at the bar, and he says, "Hey, bro, I just came from the Wisconsin BYU game." I go, "How was that?" He goes, "Man, it was great. We won. We beat the." And he's like, "Man, them." He showed me a video. Them Wisconsin boys, man. Whatever you guys in the right there in that region of the country, feed them boys, man. Like God, they're the descendants of the Nephilim, man. Shoot,
Yeah.
So I'm not overlooking Wisconsin, man. You know what I mean? We beat them last time. It's Lambeau. We're going into basically a home game for them, even though it's a Shamrock Series for ours, and they are a Big Ten team, and they have a winning history. It took a Notre Dame guy to go there and give them a winning tradition,
Good
right?
point. Yeah.
With Barry Alvarez, right? Right,
Yeah.
Ken? You
Hey,
forget that, Ken?
I'm
But
I'm not trying to act like you could just roll the ball out there and win by 30. I'm just saying it's a more favorable environment for Notre Dame to be able to ease into the season than it is playing A&M or Miami to start. That's all I'm saying. You have a little more wiggle room.
no, and that's true. And you know what? We don't do the best in September, and we can't. We overlooked NIL. We overlooked and I'm sorry, NIL. Excuse me. We overlooked NIU. We overlooked Marshall. We overlooked Stanford. And we
Yeah.
know what happens when Notre Dame overlooks somebody, and we also know what the country does when Notre Dame overlooks somebody. They love to drag us through the mud, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Because
And
look, man,
Renee, the other
yeah,
thing is Notre Dame gets everybody's best shot no matter what. It's a unique Notre Dame. You beat Notre Dame, it could make your season. Notre Dame is going to get everybody's best A-game shot every single time, and that's exactly how I want it.
facts, man, facts. And John, I'll just end with this. Unfortunately, like I said, fortunately, I got a lot of good friends at BYU. I got a
Yeah.
lot of good friends that are BYU diehards, like I am Notre Dame, because of their LDS background and me and my Catholic background. And unfortunately, what you hear happened to the stud wide receiver, it's an unfortunate incident all around with whatever. You guys all know the story. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
repeat it. But here's the thing: that story didn't get the media that Notre Dame got for backing out of the bowl the way it is. So what does that tell you? Unfortunately, it's a sad story, and glad people don't talk about it much. But that goes to show you too. Like, dude, we our coach was already gone, left, and signed, still delivered to the Giants. And they blew it up, bro. They blew up a false narrative story up because we are Notre Dame. John. So, I have hopes for the future. I'm excited, man. Um, I just wanted to call in and say what's up, bro. I really miss you guys. Glad you're back on this week. You helped me get through. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Luis, we're praying for you. And John, just love you, buddy. Onward, Notre Dame.
Have a good one, man. He's out there building America. I'm in here yelling in my basement. Like, I have so much respect for Luis and Renee. They are literally out there building America one brick at a time with their hands like real men, day after day after day. And what do? I come in the basement and yell on the internet. Like, it's like, oh man, my back's a little tired from sitting in this chair after some 3-hour live streams. These guys are out here doing real man's work. I love it. Mangoes, it's been a while. What's going on, brother?
How's my favorite Irishman on the northern part of America? How you doing, old friend? Good to see you.
Hey, man, a lot's happened since the season's ended. I saw you in here this morning, and I knew you had some opinions. I'm just wondering in what direction you're going to apply them. What do you got?
Well, it piqued my interest. One, I wanted to come in, see how you're doing. And it's just always great to hear your take. You know, I just absolutely love hearing your opinions and your thoughts and your perspective. It's always based, John. I'll give you credit on that. You've always been pretty based on your takes.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I felt like being a villain today in the chat. You know, I just got off work. I'm tired. I'm just not in the mood to be patient. You know, like some certain people in there are talking out of their ass. So I'm just like, whatever. But so I do want to touch up on 2 points. One, the USC thing. Let people like the gaslighting narrative. You know, like it just seems like it's a common pattern that people are just gaslighting anything Notre Dame, you know, like no matter what you guys do, it's always the wrong move. But if it's on the other side of the football, it's the right move against Notre Dame. You guys just can't win. You guys, I told you this from the beginning. You guys are being blackballed. And it showed from the playoff decision. You guys are being blackballed. It's a toxic relationship. It's basically you're in an abusive relationship, and they're like, well, you made me abuse you, so, you know, join a conference. You know, that's being one of them. And it's a really good segue for my second part. I ain't going to take much time, but I'll open up for questions if you have any. But what the segue is that I noticed a week or two ago, you were like, oh, hey, everyone's talking positive about us about being national champion favorites. In my opinion, I think Notre Dame should win the national championship. You guys have a lot of characteristics as the Ohio State team that won the national championship because you guys been dragged through the mud. You guys everybody was talking shit on you guys. You guys went through a lot of hell. This football team coming in this year been through a lot of hell, you know. CJ Carr's been through that, but you guys have seniors there that's, you know, been treated terribly by the college football world. And the thing is that, like, you have Josh Pate, you know, saying a lot of good things. Here's the thing I want you guys to don't forget. They're going to do this again at some point. They're going to drag you guys through the mud at some point. They're going to say a bunch of nice things, and I think that they may want to try to make you guys feel good about yourself so you don't feel angry. If I'm a Notre Dame fan, I'm never going to forget that pain. I'm never going to forget the mockery and everything that happened when they gave a really poor excuse. They lied to your faces. They lied to America about respecting Notre Dame and leaving you guys out of the playoffs. And what followed afterward was completely despicable. If I'm a Notre Dame fan, I am pissed. I am still angry, and I'll never forgive and forget how I was treated if I'm a Fighting Irish fan. I will never forget that. I'm telling you.
Let me ask the question. Then you said you would open it up for questions. Kent's saying I'm definitely paying you to come on and push pro Notre Dame narratives. I can assure you, I'm not paying the callers to say things they know I want to hear. Here's my question: if you're Notre Dame, what do you do to better protect yourself from being in this situation moving forward, other than don't start out 0-2. Short of that, like, what can Notre Dame do to protect themselves? You can't lose enough to be exposed to be in this position is the only real answer.
I really don't give a damn about that stupid argument anymore, because here's the thing. one of the teams that you guys lost to played for the national championship, and the other one went to the college football playoffs, and both teams had Heisman Trophy candidates. What more do you freaking want? Plus, you had two teams that had no business being there, Group 5 teams. It was it was a stupid argument. And then you had a 3-loss SEC team that couldn't even make it to the finals in the college football playoffs. The thing I'm going to maintain this argument. You guys are being blackballed. There's a conspiracy out there that's going to try to find any way necessary to negate the prominence of Notre Dame. I think you guys have a great program, but the problem is that when you guys are not playing in a conference, and I'm not saying that I take in this argument, I am saying that this is what people are saying the reason why it's justified to treat you guys like dog shit every time is because you're not in a conference. They're going to hold that against you. You guys are being blackballed. That's why the ACC is going to schedule you the worst opponents out there, and they're going to give you the bottom of the barrel of the ACC teams. ACC is not a good conference. You have two teams in the ACC, Clemson and Florida State, trying to get out because the foundation is built on sand and it's sinking. ACC is a sinking ship, and if I'm Notre Dame, I would get out of that real fast. Sooner the better, because
So
go on.
Let's move this along then. I agree with you. The ACC's on shaky footing. The relationship with Notre Dame is rocky because of what happened in the playoff thing. Also, just the teams are not that competitive. The schedule isn't that compelling. But where is this headed? Do you see a 16 or 24 team field and then more teams feel willing to schedule Notre Dame because they feel like they can maybe afford the risk of a non-conference loss more in a 24 team than they could in a 12-teamer? Like, where is this all headed, big picture?
It's going to go back and forth. 1 year they're going to be like, well, we're not going to schedule like look at the last 2 years of the 12-team playoff format. The first year they had like the first 4 teams in the college football rankings is going to be according to the conference championship. And then Notre Dame will be like the number 5 if they go undefeated, or assuming that that's the highest ranking that they're going to achieve. If they, outside of the conference championship prospect. Then the next year, they changed the whole format of the requirements of getting into the playoffs, and also they changed the criteria of getting the first. So what I'm saying is that it's going to flip-flop until they find a proven format, because there's going to be a lot of interest, a lot of money, a lot of movement, and a lot of words going to be floating out in the ether around during the time when they're going to lock down what teams are going to be in the college football playoff. It's going to be inconsistent, and it's going to be very painstaking for everybody. That's what's going to happen. And Notre Dame's case, you're guaranteed. I wouldn't even say that. If you even lose one, Notre Dame is going to be in a really interesting spot. I want to say that they got to go undefeated to even guarantee a spot in the playoff. But, objectively speaking, if you want to make the argument of what the best teams the best teams to be in the playoffs, then Notre Dame would have been in there. And don't forget about BYU. They said that if you're in a conference championship game, it was not going to count against you from going in the playoffs. So it's not only Notre Dame that got screwed out of the playoffs, it was also BYU, because they made it their conference championship game. So keep that in mind. And that goes to the argument of inconsistency. They are going to change things due to, of those variables that I mentioned beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really, really interesting. There's always a lot of talk about, the Notre Dame brand and the power and the sway they have. And you have a guy on the board, Notre Dame's AD's on that playoff committee board, or not the playoff committee, but the board and all this stuff. The issue is Notre Dame is a powerful brand on its own and does wield a lot of strength and power, but not compared to all the other conferences combined, right? And that's what you're up against is Notre Dame and their power, whatever. But that is not greater than the Big Ten and the SEC combining forces if they don't like Notre Dame. I want to see where this goes. Notre Dame, stay put with the scheduling now. Stay put now, see where this model goes for the playoff, and then evaluate what you could schedule and what it looks like then. That's what I think the move's going to be.
That's the black ball right there. That's how they're going to enforce the black ball on you. Like the Big Ten is doing it. Look at USC.
You think they're just not going to schedule Notre Dame and make us join a conference? They're just not going to do it? Is that the way you're thinking?
Exactly. Look at the ACC. They're already showing the blueprint of how to execute that, following by the Big Ten, by this whole USC. Even through your admittance during the football season, John, you said that it was there's a contingent of people in the Big Ten administration were saying that it's going to scheduling Notre Dame is going to interfere the scheduling of the end conference teams.
Yeah.
So they're going to use that as a part of an excuse. But when it comes to push comes to shove, teams can schedule Notre Dame, but the conference are going to say, you guys are not going to do that because we don't want to play a program that doesn't want to conform where everybody else is at. That's the black ball, and there's some content creators on YouTube that I saw saying the same thing. So let's put it this way: when you don't need a formal conspiracy, when there's common interests are converging, and the common interest is to squeeze you guys out because you're the defiant, you're the black sheep of the college football world, you're the redheaded stepchild, and they don't like it. And it's not nothing new. This has been happening to you guys for the last 100 years since you guys beat Michigan in 1909. It's been a reoccurrence, and you guys, and this is why I respect Notre Dame entirely, is because you guys always find a way to stick it to other people and still win championships. I hope to God at some point Notre Dame's wins in championship, because now at that point you guys can call the whole country crybabies in the same fashion they called you guys crybabies. Oh, I'm waiting for that. Oh, please let it happen. Oh, please.
So here's where I'm at with it. I think Pete Bavacqua is the key player here. His job is to keep Notre Dame nimble and flexible enough to get by now, but when the time comes, be able to make any sort of moves you need to be able to be CFP competitive schedule-wise. That's what I ask of Bavacqua. Keep Notre Dame nimble enough that whatever happens, they could pivot where they need to moving forward. That's all I could ask of Notre Dame's leadership right now. Anything else, Mangos? It's good to hear from you, buddy. People think you're in a plant I paid to come here.
They can kiss my ass. That's my response to that. Anyways, no, I come out here because I like you guys, and well, I'm gonna, keep it there. In my opinion, I think Pete Bavacqua, I think the Notre Dame administration needs to be a little more aggressive on the PR side of things, because nobody likes you anyway. So what do you guys got to lose? You're the North Korea of college football. You're the hermit kingdom. They're trying to isolate you. So you guys got nothing to lose other than your own dignity self of being Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. I will keep that pride intact. But other than that, I'm glad I got that out of there, because it does piss me off seeing how much these guys are treating like shit. It pisses me off because the reason why is because you're affecting these young boys, these young men that work their asses off all year around. You got to have respect for the athletes. And you're basically taking out on the athletes because you're not getting enough money from Notre Dame. And that is sickening in itself. The root of all evil is the love of money.
Anytime we could get some moral support from outside of our immediate fan base, I'll take it. Mangos, thanks for joining, buddy. I hope you have a good weekend. And whenever you get something else you want to rant about, you know where to find me.
Well, hey, man, you have a great weekend. God bless. Go Notre Dame. Go Buckeyes. See you guys next time.
Have a good one. Man, I'm telling you what, that guy likes it. Some Notre Dame allies here that I didn't expect. SPF, I have an answer for this. And you may laugh at it, but I am 100% convinced that it's true because I've seen it happen. Kelly won the West his first year and the Heisman Award the second. Not great, but not a total failure. Here's what I'm going to say to that. Kent Hughes, not a paid sportsman. I'm way too cheap for that. Here's what I'm going to say to this, SPF. Did you notice how the years Kelly had more success at LSU were right when he got there, right? The earlier years. My theory is it takes Brian Kelly a while to burn down a competitive culture and ruin it all in his own unique way. That is why he has more success in the beginning before all of his Kelly-ness sinks into the program and ruins everything. That's the deal. It takes a while for all the Kelly things to permeate your program and slowly melt the standards down. That's what's going on here. Luis, what's up, man?
What's up, John? I'm out here. I'm actually at the original 559 area, my boy. My neck of the woods, Fresno, California. This is where the Irish came from, right here, my boy. This is where it all started at this field, at my mama daddy's house, at my pop's house. Letting y'all know this is the 559. How about them Irish, my boys? This is Notre Dame man right here. California love, homie.
California love. Oh, man. What's going on? I like that energy today, man.
Yeah, John, I'm next to my dad, you know? This is my pops. Yeah, papa. Hey. Let's go Irish. Let's go Irish, daddy. ¿Puedes hablar? There's football, daddy. How about them Irish pops? My dad has been my...
God bless him. God bless him.
Yeah. Yeah, John, like I told you, you know, like, I'm going through it, bro. I'm really going through it, you know? I called you a show, and I gotta apologize. Excuse me for my language the other day, John. But it is like, I get it, guys. Like, I get it. We want to hit that hurdle. We want to jump that hurdle. But you know what? At the same time, we haven't been this close in so many years, and we all can taste it. We all feel it. We all feel like we're there. We're ready to just raise that trophy. It says we are. You know what I mean? But at the same time, patience has its virtue, guys. It really does. And I know that's probably not a good thing to say to us Irish fans, because some of us have been waiting for what, 30-something years, 36, 37 years?
Yeah.
You know, and we don't have that. I get it. But at the same time, when have you seen Notre Dame where it's at? Since Lou Holtz. Like it comes to a point where, like, we have elevated and excel our recruiting, our facilities, our staff, and we're ascending every time. And I think that's probably our frustration, because we all want to have that. We just want to get that hurdle over with. You know, we want to get that monkey off our back already, you know?
Luis, that's what it is. You've raised up as a program enough where the only other bar there is to win it all. I think that's the anxiety people are feeling. You already finished up runner-up. You already got a couple recruiting classes and a good Porto class that's really highly ranked. All that's left is to get this thing over the finish line, and everybody's feeling that pressure. Every year we got Freeman moving forward. That's where we're at. That's the bar.
And that's exactly what it is. So, like, and we as fans, yeah, we're like, you know, harping and all that, but why not embrace it? You know, it's going to come. And that's why I say patience has its virtue. But at the same time, let's enjoy Marcus Freeman. What can we do as a community, not only to show our love and support, but you know, he's already heard it. He's hearing it all the time. He's well aware of what's going on. Yeah. You know what I mean? But he's representing the university in a way. We had 12 years of Dumbo and F-ups with what's his name over there, Bobby Boucher lookalike. You know what I mean? Bobby, you know what I mean? Like, at this moment, as a coaching staff, we should be happy that we have Marcus Freeman representing us. Look at what he's doing for the basketball team, the girls' basketball team, the hockey team. You know, he doesn't just think about the football program only. He thinks about the university in total. And Lou Holtz said something. Don't come to Notre Dame to change Notre Dame. Notre Dame will change you. And that's exactly what it is. You know, like I told you, it was an inspiration for me. It was a life-changing event for me. to find the University of Notre Dame, and I fall in love and believe in something pureness and good. And I think we have a coach that understands the community and understands the fan base and is doing whatever he can. You know what I mean? That's why when I found out about that wrestling coach, acting like a fool, bruh, catch me outside with you, homie. Like, that's for sure, bro. You don't disrespect my coach and walk away from that. You know what I mean? You catch
How about that?
Yeah, we're gonna catch that fade one way or another, my boy. Believe that. Man, don't worry, Marcus. Don't worry, Marcus Freeman. You got some people got your back, my boy.
I'm with you, man. This is the best shape the Notre Dame program's been in the modern era by far. And I think everybody realizes that. And as a result, you're feeling the increased pressure to get this thing done while things are in this solid a position. And this is what it should be like in Notre Dame, having these real Heisman and title expectations where it's not a random dream, but people believe you're at that level. That's where Notre Dame's at. Get it done.
Yeah, and as what I said, get it done. Handle your business, Marcus. Like, let's get that. Let's get it, my boy. Let's get that. Let's call us the champs. You know what I'm saying? Because we're there. We can taste it. We can feel it. You can smell it in the air. And I really believe that this season is going to be a remarkable and a unique season that we're all going to treasure and we're all going to live, because he will leave, no doubt. He will leave, no doubt. Ain't going to be up to the committee, because we're going to have those W's next to our column, and it's going to let you know what we stand on, because Notre Dame stands on business. And people, Baca, I do love the fact that, like the PR look and all that. Notre Dame's never been like that. So why are we going to be something that we ain't? You know what I mean? Like, when you say less, it's even better, bro. You know what I'm saying? The chips are going to fall where they fall. You know what I mean? As long as you do behind closed doors and you talk your shit and stand on your shit. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it. I mean, other than that, like, it ain't. But what I wanted to say to you too, John, is like, when I met your dad, do me a favor, my boy. When you see your dad later, man, give your dad a big hug, bro. Yeah, because us as a family, we have these moments with my dad, you know what I mean, where I don't have my dad as close as the way you do, bro. And I see the love that you have with your father and all of us that have our fathers, And I'm going to share something with you guys as a fan base, because this takes big balls from any man. This man raised me because I was 3 years old. Never met my father. Don't know who my father is. Don't know anything about him. But this man stepped up and showed me love, honesty, loyalty, and hard work. If you have that, you'll be a better man in life. You know what I mean? And I think what I saw from your dad and from everybody that's out there that have their dads, some of the fan base that I met through your channels and through other channels, and I see that love that they have. And that's why I bring my sons with me as much as I can. I can't do it all, you know what I mean? I'm a single parent, but at the same time, though, those that do have those parents, your fathers and your moms and all that, give them a hug, man. Remember those days that you were growing up and they were taking you to football practice, soccer practice, baseball practice. Don't know how they did it, and when they did it, they just gave you like $2 so you can catch things, so you can start walking and buy a soda on the way home. You know what I mean? But those are the memories that I have with my father, and I think all of us at this moment in time, where there's so much negativity around everybody's life, let's spread some little. Just change that up. You know what I mean? Let's change that negative to a positive, and that's what I try to do each and every day. And I try to do that in my personal life. But there's sometimes, like the other day I called John, it got to me. You know what I mean? Because my dad was in really bad shape, and it's one of those things. Sometimes your dad needs to see that one person that sparks something in him. And I'm blessed that my dad sees that in me. And today we're having a good day with him, and tomorrow it's gonna be an obstacle in dialysis. So other than that, I just want to say to you guys, patience has its virtue, guys. We get there, but let's treasure the moments that we have, because you already seen every NFL team coming after our coaching staff and everything. So before we get another dumbass in there and really disrespect Notre Dame, let's embrace the one that we got.
I like it. Luis, God bless you, man. God bless your dad. Have a good day with him, and we'll say a prayer for him, okay?
Amen. Go Irish, guys.
Have a good one, buddy. Taste this, man. That's tough stuff. Tough stuff. God, that Luis is so genuine, man. Him and Renee both are just two of the most genuine dudes. All right, let's do this. It's a Friday. We're going to give it a shot. Caden the Freak. Let's give it a shot. You've donated like $50. I'm going to give it a shot. What's up, Caden?
Hey, John. How you doing? It's been a minute.
It's been more than a minute. What's going on, man?
Hey, I didn't come to talk trash today. I just came on here because, I turned on my own fan base and I said, well, you know what? I was tired of hearing everybody's crap, so I said, you know what? I'm out. I'm done. So I basically just told my own fan base like I'm going my own way. Like I ain't going to hang out with any more Buckeye fans. I'm just going on
And
my own way.
what's caused that move by you?
It's nothing personal. It's just a decision I made, and I mean you gotta respect a man's decision.
So does that mean you're still diehard Buckeyes, but you're just not down with like the other media outlets and fan base? Or I'm just trying to figure out what
Yeah, like all the other
you're.
media bases don't understand what I'm saying, or they don't understand like how passionate I am of my program. Like I don't get how they don't understand like the things I say because I've watched a lot of Buckeye football in my lifetime. And it's like I've had my ups and downs of Buckeye football, but I had to live through it. I sucked up through it, and we had we had a national championship. So I mean, hey, I'm just trying to enjoy every moment of Buckeye football by myself, and
Okay. So I can respect that with the Buckeye side of it. You've been sitting here listening to the Notre Dame discussion. What do you think happens with the Notre Dame moving forward? Are they going to have trouble filling out a competitive schedule? Going to get blocked, but blackballed? What do you think is going to happen?
Notre Dame, as far as I'm concerned, and I've said this, and I know I've talked crap about Notre Dame, but I got tired of it, and I give Marcus Freeman credit for for what he's done. Taking them to a national championship and then almost like just clinching that, that moment. That's the thing I give him credit for, John, honestly. Yeah, Notre Dame's gonna have a tough schedule, but honestly, the only reason they're given a tough schedule is because USC backed out. And I mean, you and I can both agree, and Irish fans can agree, USC, they're nothing but a bunch of cowards. That we know that from the first place. I've told people about it.
Yeah. How do you like having them in the Big Ten?
Honestly, it's just, they come out talk crap in our house, we're just going to kick their butt. That's just simple as that. USC could say, oh, the Buckeyes are this, the Buckeyes are that. But if you don't bring it Saturday, that's your problem. That's their problem.
Yeah.
Because we know what we're doing. We know how to play football, 60 minutes of pure physical football. But if you can't play 60 minutes of pure physical football, then you've got a problem. Something ain't right, or Lincoln Riley ain't feeding you guys enough, or something is lacking in your diet or your mentality.
Yeah, it's man, it's going to be really interesting. Now you got Lincoln Riley in year 5, still has not made the playoff. Like in this Big Ten schedule, it's going to be really interesting to see. Cade, let me ask you this: connecting Notre Dame and Ohio State down the road, some amount of years, how would you feel if Marcus Freeman came back home to Ohio State? Say he gets over the up, wins a title at Notre Dame, and then he wants to come home. How would you and other Ohio State fans feel if he ended up going there when Ryan Day goes and does something else?
Well, I can't speak for all other Buckeye fans because, like I said, John, I parted my ways with Buckeye fans. And honestly, I'm going to be the only one of only few Buckeye fans that say this. Like, between anybody from my home here down maybe 20 miles south of the 614, we're about 25 miles south of Ohio Stadium. Mm-hmm. And me and my buddies were talking about this. If Marcus Freeman comes home and coaches, yeah, that's going to be a big move on our part because we'll have one of our former players coming back to coach, but let alone we could possibly win another national championship as long as Matt Patricia stays as defensive coordinator, which, I mean, his contract extension with Ohio State, that could happen. So I feel like there's a better factor for us at the end if Marcus Freeman does come home.
Yeah.
And now all our Buckeye fans considered him a traitor. Even Chris and all of them, they consider him a traitor. Forgotten traitor.
Oh yeah, I know Chris hates. Chris is like the number one. He's one of the only people in America that doesn't respect Marcus Freeman as a guy. It's hilarious.
But here's the thing, John. I'm one of the only Buckeye fans on here that'll say this. I respect Marcus Freeman as a man, but let alone as the guy who changed Notre Dame. Not even just changed them mentally, but just made a bigger impact. Supporting different teams like the men's hockey, women's hockey, women's basketball. That says a lot about an individual when you can support other programs. But let alone, that says you got one hell of a character. And I give the devil his due. I seriously do, John.
Oh, and I appreciate that. I think that's a pretty honest assessment there. Hey, do you have any thoughts on playoff expansion? You think they're going to go to 16 or 24 soon? What's the move here?
I think they'll go to 16, John. And it wouldn't surprise me if they go to 16. But 24, I doubt it. But 16 is like the only other possibility of an option I see. Now, I could be stupid. I don't know. Your fan base can call me stupid or, wow, I have the audacity for coming on here after talking so much crap. Well, like I said to your fans, and I'm saying this here now, like, I just got tired of it.
Yeah. And it's, I gotta tell you, I appreciate it. You've been donating a lot of money, and the call's gone well. I do appreciate it. This is not bad. You've come a long way. Our relationship is healing.
Well, and then also, I just separated my ways with Chris and Eric because I couldn't stand them and their fan base yipping and yapping. So I basically told them the one things that I wished Ohio State would at least change and the NCAA would change. Because I'm like, I particularly am like an old school college football fan.
Yeah.
The way I see it, it's like Ohio State, like with our program, we have a good defense, but I'm just wishing the NCAA would just line up and just understand that when you play the game of football, you are putting 60 minutes of it in with no excuses. But let alone, you're going to be hard hitting. It's going to be hard hitting, bloody, and it's going to get hellacious. But at the same time, like, that's the price you pay. Like, why do you think Notre Dame legends paid with their own blood, sweat, and tears at Notre Dame under Lou Holtz's coaching? And they won multiple games because of that mentality that they brought into the locker room. Marcus Freeman is trying to bring back what Lou Holtz started.
Yeah.
Jim Tressel at Ohio State. He brought what Coach Woody Hayes was basically saying in the early 70s. It's old school football. The NCAA doesn't want to see that because they're afraid of all the hospital bills that'll stack up. But let alone, they feel like that style of football,
Marcus
that
Freeman,
style of football, and I'll say it should be forgotten. But yet, Marcus Freeman is trying to fill Lou Holtz's shoes because Lou Holtz, I'll say this honestly about Lou Holtz. I've been praying about Lou Holtz, and I've been saying, like, God, please keep him around for everybody, because the generations of old of Notre Dame, that's who everybody loved for a long time. I mean, I'll give the devil his due. Like, that's the guy who made himself a villain in college football, who changed Notre Dame significantly.
Yeah, it's me. I don't know what's going on this show. We're getting a lot of reasonable Ohio State people in here, and it's kind of freaking me out. I don't know what to make of it.
John,
on the way out, thanks for joining, and thanks for the donations, buddy.
John, just don't freak out, dude. So if you see me, just don't freak out. Don't be scared. Irish fans, don't think I'm gonna come in here and start smacking anybody across. Like, I just had a change, and then it's just after argue with Ohio State fans for like 3 months after the national championship, and then losing to Miami. That was just where I literally had to say, I had enough. I had enough of Eric. I had enough of Chris. I had enough of all of them. I had enough of everybody talking smack. And then I just said, you know what? You all can go screw off, and Chris can go kiss Eric's rear end, and etc. And I
Well,
told, and you know
Caden,
what?
I appreciate.
I'm gonna be honest, John. As someone who's played the game, but let alone loves the game, my thing is, and I said this in a super chat earlier to you, John. The Hollywood life is never a good life, and as an athlete, that life is just. As an athlete, I can never bear that much. And where I'm at now in life, I still say, thank you, God, for giving me the opportunities to work on a family farm, be able to do the things I do for a living, but at the same time, thank you for giving me a life that, you know, I'm blessed to have a lot of friends and family around because th- there's only one chance you get. There's a 50-50. But I chose to take that good 50 and make it into a better 110% because, I mean, and somebody mentioned this to me, John, not too long ago. He said, what's the point of the life of $1 million and more to your name, where in the off season you're not doing anything, but at the same time, you know, what are you doing during the off season? Oh, you're going off to like Olympics or you're going off to parties or whatnot, and then you're earning money still because of deals and endorsements. Think about it. You get that much in your, that's over 80 to over 100, $200 million to your name as an athlete, specifically a football player at a good position. But let alone, it builds your ego up so much that you forget where you came from. You forget, you forget like how much it took to get where you were, where you are. That's the one thing that he said to me. And I said, you know what? That's to be completely fair. Because what's the honest point of it? Like, I mean, people can disagree with me and my buddies on it because I mean they could call us stupid, but I mean, I'm just saying an honest point, John. I'm just being honest, no BS, and just being who I am truly. Because who's Caden the Diesel Freak truly? People ask me. I said, well, I'm just a simple guy who likes college football, who bleeds it, who loves what I do, and okay, I'm 22 years old. I've got a lot ahead of me still, but I know that. But it is what it is. There's no easy way to do anything, but let alone say what are your options. I mean, that's just me as a young fella. I mean, you're up in there, John. I can respect you for everything you do, but at the same time, there's a lot more that goes into the thought of a young man that's got a lot to, his mind, especially when you're like when colleges are going after you and they're offering you a lot of money, brand deals, etc. And then you go to the NFL as a 20, 21-year-old young freshman, rookie, and you're getting all this attention. I mean, come on, like that does not need to be like this number one draft pick who's a cornerback or a linebacker does not need to be getting this much attention. Like this guy is just coming in after college, after playing a brutal, brutal 4 years of college football. And you're telling people that he's the next big thing and if Jordan, Nike, Adidas, Under Armour trying to sign him to multi-million-dollar contracts, Oakley, everybody's going to be on his tail. It's ridiculous, John. And in my opinion, it's like it, you get that on your mind, and it only takes so much from you. But let alone it changes you to the point where people don't even recognize who the heck you are.
Caden,
Personally,
you gotta just do what you gotta do and try and live your life and be the guy that you want to be and own it and lean into it, brother. That's all you could do, man.
yep. That's John. You make an honest point. Like, and I'm just gonna say this, John. You know where I'm at. I love it, and I can say working on a family farm and doing what I do best, working for my buddy's excavation company, you know, it's it's better for me, and it's just better mentally because I know these people and they know me. We work better. And when we get together, we get to, do stuff like maintaining properties, working on trucks, etc.
Hey,
It makes a better system. And I honestly can say it's it's honestly better. So, John, I won't waste any more time. I'll get my 6'2" ass out of here, and
hey, Jaden, keep living your life, man. Have your goals, go for them. Try and keep your mind and body healthy, my friend. Okay, I'm glad we touched base and kind of made amends here, and thank you
hey,
for the
John,
donations.
let me just say this. As a 22-year-old, I have never had a sip of alcohol in my life. Not a sip of whiskey, not a sip of nothing except the sweet tea Mountain Dew I get from, out or something, or, you know, just out and about if I'm out getting something, or I never smoked. And, I'm just trusting the Lord that He keeps me going. And I know what's good for me. And as long as He can keep me on 2 feet and nothing happens, you know,
There
I'm
you
good.
go.
So,
There you
John,
go, man.
I just
Hey,
want to say this.
have a good weekend, buddy. Thanks for the donations. Hang in there and keep your head on the straight and narrow. Okay.
Hey, John, you take care. Hey, I might call back in Monday.
Have a good weekend, buddy. Take care
Hey,
now. Luis, $10 holler. We stand up business in 26. Leave no doubt. All right, you guys, this show's over. This show's over. I think we need real football back. I don't know what's happening, but things are weird. And this show's over. So it was fun today. Good donations, good callers, good comments. You never know what you're gonna get on a live show like this. And here we are, man. It's never a dull moment here. God bless you guys. Have a good weekend. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you. You never know what you're gonna get.